AskBUNNY, and today I am finally going to be answering you guys' questions that you asked me at least a week ago. This was a vast organizational progress, a thing that I did, and I organized all you guys' questions that I picked into different categories, and I typed them and printed them on little labels. Sometimes I get overly organized about things. I'm gonna try and go through and start no long introduction so that I can answer as many questions as humanly possible. So first off, I'm gonna start out with answering some basic questions. Grace Homeschool asked what my shoe size is. I am a 7. Dahlia Dan wanted to know what my zodiac sign is, and I am a Leo. And I'm not exactly sure what my rising and stuff is. I tried to do that, I think, with Leanne like a couple months ago, and I'm not exactly sure if I did it accurately or not. Keely Lene wanted to know what my favorite holiday is, and that is, of course, Halloween. Abby G asked a question a ton of people wanted to know, and that is kind of like what my religious background is, if I'm a Christian and all that good stuff. So yes, I am a Christian, and I am Lutheran, which is like a sect of Christianity. Jessica Colvin asked a super popular question, which is, do I want children? And the answer is no. Never. Other people's kids are nice, but just like for myself, it's a very personal choice. That's definitely not in the cards for me in the future. The Laser Dude wanted to know if I'm ever gonna get rid of that broken swing that you guys see in the background of like all of my outdoor videos, like every time I do an outfit of the day and stuff like that. And the answer is no. I don't know who broke it. Dogman had some friends over, and the next thing I knew, there was a broken swing. When we moved into this house, we kind of like inherited the swing, but it was not broken at the time. I am a really, really strange person inside of my head. I just kind of like broken, crumbly, sort of like dystopic looking things. I've absolutely refused to let Dogman drag it to the curb and dispose of it. I like it. It doesn't bother me. It's not hurting anybody. Elfie asked if I read books, and if so, what are my favorite books to read? I absolutely love classic literature. I'm a huge fan of Charles Dickens. I'm a huge fan of romantic poetry, and I don't mean like gushy, like romance poetry. I mean like from the romantic period, like Lord Byron, Percy Shelley, William Blake. I also really love A Clockwork Orange, obviously by Anthony Burgess. One of my modern-y kinds of favorites is Brave New World by Aldous Huxley. I also love all of Alexandra Dumas books like Count of Monte Cristo. So good. Even if you've seen the movie, read the book. I also love The Three Musketeers. The list just goes on and on and on. Allison Singleton asked, would I ever consider getting another animal? And the answer is yes. I am so trying to convince Dogman. I've been trying to convince him for months. I want a teeny tiny little long-haired chihuahua so bad. So just everybody bother Dogman and tell him that we should get a puppy. Lauren Havel asked if I could change one thing about the world, like an issue, whether it's big or small, what would I change? And definitely that would be for everyone on Earth just to be more accepting. I just kind of wish that people would kind of just understand that sometimes their personal thoughts, opinions, and beliefs, they're not like the greatest choice for other people. So I kind of just wish that we could all be more accepting and kind of more understanding of everybody independently, their choices, their decisions. This is maybe like a really long-winded question, but definitely acceptance is the one thing that I wish I could change. Just sprinkle everybody with a little bit of acceptance. Dark Cities asked how old Boris is, and he just turned 1 in November, and he's in that room with Dogman right now. Speaking of Dogman, the next couple questions are Dogman related questions. And I honestly didn't pick a lot of the Dogman questions because last year, I think it was last summer, we kind of answered a lot of the same questions that I was getting this time in the boyfriend tag, kind of boyfriend Q&A video that I did. So I'm gonna link you guys to that down below if you wanna know some more things about like our ages and things like that. Graveyard Girl Rocks on Instagram wanted to know how long we've been together, and we were together for a while, and then we broke up for a couple years, and now we've been back together for a couple of years. So if you lump all those times together, not inclusive of the broken uppy parts, we've been together for 10 years. Smoochie asked what are our favorite things to do together, and does he like collecting oddities like I like collecting oddities? And the answer to that is no. He doesn't really like any of this weird stuff that I like. He definitely does not like broken doll parts or creepy dolls, but he does collect masks, like old masks. So I guess that's some form of collecting. Our favorite things to do together, I just love spending time with him. I'm not too much of like an out and about kind of person. So we like to watch movies, rent movies, go for walks. Oh, which ties into another question from XX on the outside XX from Instagram about what is my perfect idea of a date. So this is kind of answering all the questions at once. I absolutely love taking long walks outside. Where else would you walk? That was a really stupid thing to say. I love just walking and talking and thinking about all kinds of things like movie and literature. So that is literally my perfect idea of a date. Next, I'm gonna move on to a ton of hair questions. I got so many questions about my hair. Anthony Schaefer wanted to know, am I growing my hair out for any reason? Kind of what my plans are. A lot of people wanted to know like how long my hair is in inches. I don't even know how you would measure hair. This is my hair now. You can't even see it all in one frame because it's so long. I'm not really growing it out for any distinctive purpose. I just wanted the black to not be in the front of my face anymore. I kind of like how it's this really hideous, like two-tone, awkward brown blonde kind of thing. I had originally intended to let it grow out and then bring some of the black streaks back in, but like more towards the top. I don't know if I'm gonna do that now. I got a lot of questions if I'm gonna cut it. The answer is no. Megan R wanted to know if I would ever cut my hair short. No, never. Prices 1201 asked how long have I been growing my hair, or how did it get so long? And that's just basically from not cutting it. I had a horrible hair cutting experience over a year ago. So this is literally just my hair grown out for over a year. I refuse to even get it trimmed because people don't seem to understand what the word trim means. By trim, I mean like run past it with some scissors. But anytime I ask for a trim, it always gets cut this short, and then I'm just in tears for a month. Melissa Lowe asked if I would ever dye my hair a non-human color like blue or pink, and honestly a lot of that stuff seems so appealing to me. If I picked a color, I would probably do like purple or lavender or maybe green. I don't think I would ever do that again, should I say, because right when I first went off to college, right after I graduated from high school, I had pink streaks in my hair. It looked pretty cool, but it drove me crazy because it was just so hard to keep the pink in the blonde and to keep it from fading. Plus I'm like too into like looking historical, so that's kind of why I'm trying to make it look more natural. Anyway, that's enough hair questions. Here are some beauty questions. Suzanne Sadler wanted to know about what age did I start wearing makeup and what got me interested in it. Funny story, the reason why I started wearing makeup is because I was obsessed with Catwoman. When the original like Batman Returns movie came out, I was in the 2nd grade. I was like 7 years old. I was obsessed with Catwoman. I was obsessed with Catwoman's red lipstick. I don't know if you guys like remember Avon, or if any of your moms got Avon in the early 90s, but they used to give you these little sample bullet lipsticks that was like literally like a teeny tiny little tester thing. So my mom would always get Avon, and she would always like let me have the little red test tube lipsticks. So I wore red lips literally in like the 2nd grade. It was fun. It was awesome. Do I have lipstick on my teeth? Maybe. Alyssa Cedargrin wanted to know if zombies attack and I'm in Sephora, what would my weapon of choice be? And I'm gonna have to say hair dryer, because I think hair dryers could like really be effective, you know? If you like hold it in one place too long, that's a bad burn. Next question got asked a ton of times, and that is from Alexis Pastorius, and she wanted to know what lipstick I was wearing when I asked you guys the questions, like, you know, ask me some questions down below. I'm just gonna let you guys know what the brand is. I'm not vouching for this company. I don't know anything about them personally. I don't work for them. I'm not a representative. I bought this just like a regular Joe, just like anybody else in the world would. So I'm just gonna say it was the new Lime Crime Cashmere Velveteen. I love this color. What can I say? It's very unique. There's not another brand that makes it, so I like this. Hyperactive Cosplay asked a question that I got asked a ton as well, or it was a comment that got a lot of likes, and that is what makeup brand is my favorite, and I think it would absolutely be way too difficult to pick a single brand because I have favorite products from every brand, so I don't think I could like exclusively say like so-and-so is my favorite. You know what I mean? The Camping RX-esh, that's not a letter. The camping, some things are so difficult. On Twitter, the Camping RX-SH. Why is that so difficult for me? Wanted to know, would I rather be forced to wear lip gloss for the rest of my life or live without Halloween? What would I choose? And I would just have to say bring on the lip gloss because a life without Halloween is depressing. Hope Mullins wanted to know which makeup store is my favorite between Ulta, MAC, or Sephora, and I would have to say Sephora because there are billions of different items and brands in that store that I love to wear. Next is a bunch of YouTube questions, and really I could make this like a separate Q&A because I got a lot of like really in-depth like YouTube-y kinds of questions. I don't know, like this video if you guys would like a strictly YouTube kind of Q&A in the future, and I'll know. Lover of Bunny on Instagram wanted to know what are my favorite types of videos to do, and that's probably, does this thing really work? Those are just so much fun to do and to test. Anna Alexandra wanted to know what my favorite does this thing really work product is, and that's definitely the Wubble Bubble. I've heard a lot of people's Wubble Bubbles have popped and broken and they weren't too thrilled with it, but I still have my original Wubble Bubble and it's never popped and I've never had a problem with it. Granted, I don't really like throw it outside too much, but every now and again, Dogman and I blow it up and like toss it around the house and stuff, and I don't know, I still have the original, I still really like it. CJ Wayner wanted to know what I do with all the does this thing really work products after I'm done with them, and if they work, I keep them, I use them. If I think that they work but just not personally for me, I will pass them on to a friend or my mom or a friend of a friend, something like that. If they flat out utterly do not work, I will return them to the store with the receipt and get my money back. Like definitely the no-no, that went right back to Bed Bath & Beyond. Sippy sippy. Pastel Beauty Alike wanted to know if I mind watching my own videos with other people around me, or do I find it embarrassing? And the answer is, I don't know if embarrassing is the term that I would use, but this is like my own thing, you know what I mean? And like sometimes it's hard for me to have people, like even Dogman, like anybody in the world, my parents, it's hard for me to like try and watch people watching my videos and then watch their reactions to me, and it's just too, I don't know, it bothers me. It's not my favorite thing to do. Nick T. Wolf wanted to know if doing YouTube has helped with my anxiety and if it helps me relax more and not think about my problems, and the answer is absolutely yes. And that's why I thank you guys so much for being here. Y'all have done so much for me. Seriously, I've said it a million times. I will say it again. YouTube is definitely like my therapy. This is my place to come hang out and unwind and interact with you guys. I'm forever grateful that you're here with me, that you've chosen to be a part of this. It's just so magical for me, and it has helped me so much. And I think that that's literally like why I always get this comment like, you've changed so much. And it's definitely because like when I started YouTube, I was in like a really bad place, and now I feel like I'm doing much better. So I feel like that energy is coming through and I'm much happier, much more vibrant. Zana Debevek I'm not saying your name right, wants to know if I think of myself as a famous person or just an ordinary person that's really well known. I am definitely still just myself to myself. In my own mind, I'm no different. It's just really cool when people catch me in public and come up and say hi or want to take a picture or something like that, because it's like I'm getting to meet new friends in real life. It's a really cool thing, but like to myself, I'm not like a famous person. Melissa Rowe, I think that's your last name. This is from Twitter. Wants to know what the most awkward or funny follow me around experience is that I've had while I've been filming. I think it's been about 2 years ago whenever I did the $20 makeup challenge. I tried to film a little clip in the makeup section of HEB, which is my grocery store, and they came up to me and they're like, "You can't film in here." And it was like really embarrassing for me. It was kind of funny because I was like, this is a grocery store. Like, I feel like that should have been like the least secretive place that I could have filmed in. I'm giving away vegetable secrets. All right, moving on to some fashion questions. Sophie Sunflower Child from Instagram wanted to know what my favorite fashion designer or clothing brand is, and that would definitely have to be Alexander McQueen. I have loved his work for so long, literally since I was a young child. Awkward Rainbow on Instagram wants to know, out of my entire shoe collection, which pair of shoes is my favorite, and that would have to be my Christmas present last year from my parents. They found on sale a fabulous, breathtaking pair of Alexander McQueen boots. I call them my witch boots. I'm so fortunate to have them. I love them so much. I only break them out for special occasions. Miss 803 wanted to know what is one clothing item or jewelry item I would never get rid of, and honestly, there is a lot. There's a lot of things I just wouldn't part with, but one of them definitely would be this locket that I'm wearing today that I wear all the time, and it is an antique piece of jewelry. I love wearing this, and his name is Henry, and it's like a one-of-a-kind antique kind of thing. Could not ever bear to part with this. Oh, I feel like there's still so many questions, and this is so long of a video. Lots of people had movie questions. Jennifer Widner wanted to know what my favorite Johnny Depp movie is, and that has to be Dead Man. I connect with that movie on many levels. Hodgson, I can't say anything, wanted to know what my favorite Tim Burton movie is, and hands down that has to be Beetlejuice. Julia Laruski wanted to know what my favorite horror movie is, and this is a super old-timey one, probably not even considered horror, it's more like suspense, and it is a Vincent Price movie called The Haunted Palace. It's awesome. You should watch it. Music questions. Harrison Stardust wanted to know who my favorite Beatle is, and that has to be Paul McCartney. I saw him once live in concert. It was one of the best concerts I've ever been to. Honestly, I'm kind of more partial to Wings, which was Paul McCartney's like solo project band, more than the Beatles. I know that that's a bad thing to say. Strange but true. Dina Darduri wanted to know what my current favorite song is, and that has to be Little Fang by A.V. Terrace / Flicks. I love that song so much. I love that band. Probably my new favorite band. So obsessed. Jane Gaffey wanted to know what my favorite Doors song is, and that is just too impossible to narrow down. So I'm just gonna say an entire album. I'm really more partial to like Jim Morrison's poetry even than the actual Doors, which is like probably the least said statement ever. This is definitely like a very like rated R CD, not for the children, but I love Jim Morrison's American Prayer album. It's like poetry set to Doors music. It is an experience, and probably would not pass in modern day society. There's some really weird things said in there. Gabby V asked, what kind of music do I like? Do I listen to specific decades? And I kind of jump around. My favorite genre is definitely like indie or chill ambient kind of music. I love like music that makes me feel like I'm floating in some kind of fog. But I do love decades too. I'm a huge fan of like classic rock and roll, 60s, 70s. I even like 80s new wave. I like a lot of different kinds of music, really. Next is some food questions. Jamie Beasley wanted to know what food freaks me out really bad. And I would have to say like the honey with the honeycombs inside of it. I have trypophobia. phobia. I don't even know if I'm saying that right, but I have a fear of like clusters of holes, like wasps' nests. Just don't Google it. So I don't like honeycombs, wasps' nests, any kinds of like clusters of things. Like sometimes like sponges freak me out. It's just, it's crazy. Lisa Gaskill wanted to know if I was an ice cream flavor, what flavor would I be? And I'm just gonna have to say Cherry Garcia by Ben & Jerry because it is my favorite flavor. I love chocolate covered cherries. So when you add the element of ice cream to it, it's just so much more better. Elizabeth, I wanted to know if I could only eat one food for the rest of my life, what food would that be and why? Definitely my mom's homemade chicken and dumplings. They are so delicious, and you can't beat homemade cooked food. Clolu999 from Twitter wanted to know if I had to eat a raw egg or could never drink sweet tea again, what would I do? And I would definitely just eat that raw egg. That would be horribly terrible. Romilly Sophia from Instagram wanted to know what my favorite Starbucks drink is. I definitely love their classic tea. I also love the gingerbread latte iced at Christmas time or an iced pumpkin spice latte. I don't like the hot drinks. I don't like anything hot. I don't even really like hot food. It's really weird. Some childhood questions. I do not even know how to say this name. It's 2 F's. Okay, Fion Kimba asked if I was a boy, what would my name have been? And literally, my parents were gonna name me Vlad when I was just a baby, and they didn't know if I was gonna be a boy or a girl. They called me Vlad. I was always called Baby Vlad. How I got stuck with a terrible, treacherous name, I don't know. Just why couldn't they have stuck with Vladimir for a boy or a girl? That sounds acceptable to me. Emily Rose wanted to know what my earliest memory is, and my first memory is actually my first Halloween. And I don't really have many memories about it, except for I do remember that my parents dressed me up like a giant pumpkin, and what I remember is sitting on my kitchen counter, and I remember seeing my fat little baby legs poking out of like an orange pumpkin costume. I didn't know it was a pumpkin at the time, obviously, but I remember looking down and seeing my chubby little baby legs. What a happy memory. The RP family, MMEWA, I'm sorry if I'm saying that wrong, they come from Instagram and they want to know if I had to go back to school, what grade would I want to go back to? And I would definitely pick 7th grade, junior high. I had so much fun. I had some of the coolest close-knit friends at that time, and we would come home from school every day and we would like enact out the Rocky Horror Picture Show and sing it and dance, and it was a ton of fun. Disney Tower Hotel from Instagram also wanted to know what my favorite subject in school was, and I would definitely have to say history until I got to college, and my major was creative writing. That's what my degree is in, so then I would have to say like the study of poetry classes. Stupid username 1177 asked if I had anxiety as a child, and the answer is definitely a strong yes. School was a nightmare for me from the moment I started kindergarten to the moment I graduated from college, especially like spiking anxiety, all kinds of terrible things. I'm going to link you guys because I got asked this question a lot, and I get asked a lot about anxiety and depression experience videos, and I did at least 2 or 3 of them, I believe. So I'm gonna link you guys to those in the info box just in case you want to hear like a lot more in detail about those experiences for me. Nicole 0770 wanted to know if there was ever a toy that I wanted when I was a kid that I never got, and I always wanted one of those little like cars or the little Jeeps. They make a ton of different models now. They even have like SUVs, but the little cars that kids can drive in, I always wanted one of those so bad, and I never got one. I kind of still think about buying one today as an adult. Maybe I'll make a video one day of me like riding around in a creepy baby Jeep. Who wants to see that? Roe West wanted to know what my favorite toy and favorite thing to do as a kid was. My favorite toy I still have to this day, would never part with her. She's my most prized possession out of everything that I own, and her name is Lucy, spelt with an S, and she is my beloved stuffed horse and my childhood companion. And my favorite thing to do, oddly enough, as a child, I loved to do what I called pretend games, where I would like pretend I was a character or something. One of my favorites, and I used to like rope my mom into playing this game with me, but I would have my mom pretend that she was David Letterman, and then I would be like some kind of celebrity. Actually, I would just be myself, which sounds so like hamish and embarrassing to say, but I would pretend that I was like an actress or a singer, and I had one of those little like remote like microphone things that you could record on cassette tapes back in the day, and I used to like tape the interviews, and it was so much fun. Unicorn Hat 101 from Instagram wanted to know what my favorite hobby was when I was little, and it was definitely horseback riding. I was so big into competing. Horseback riding, I mainly did English style, and it's definitely over the years been a real bother to me that I stopped doing that, and I keep like wanting to get back into it. I keep toying with it. Maybe one day I will. We have a couple Disney questions. Polly Esther wanted to know if I could be a Disney princess or a Disney character in general. Who would I pick? And I would probably say Tinkerbell. She's like the sass master. Sophia Arlene wanted to know what my favorite ride at Disneyland is, and strangely enough, it is the Indiana Jones ride. I was too scared, literally, as an adult, to ride it the first 2 times that I went, but finally Dogman made me ride it when we were just there in LA in the summer, and it's now like my favorite ride at Disneyland. Favorite rides at Disney World would be Haunted Mansion and Pirates of the Caribbean. I love those rides at Disneyland too, but I don't know, the Indiana Jones ride is something else. You've got to do it. Bear Hug 358 wanted to know what my favorite Disney movie is, and it's The Great Mouse Detective. Probably the least celebrated Disney movie of all time. I feel like I'm losing my voice. Do you guys hear this? This is crazy. This is like a marathon video. I got a lot of tattoo and piercing questions, so once again, I'm going to link you guys down below to hear like me talk about in depth reasons why I got them, different pain levels, different experiences with piercings. But Kimberly Barker wanted to know how many tattoos and how many piercings do I have. I have 3 tattoos and I have 4 piercings, and they're all in this ear. I used to have many ear piercings, but I took them all out, so they're all closed up on this side. And I know that this drives some people crazy. I only wear earrings in one ear. Sky Fuzzles wanted to know what my favorite tattoo is, and that is definitely the portrait of Al Swearingen, who is a character from Deadwood, and that is my foot tattoo. Now we are in the last section of questions, and this is the random kind of catch-all questions. Lindsay Brady wanted to know if I could have any superpower, what would it be? And this is the least superpower I think anyone has ever requested, but I wished I could like levitate or float. Wouldn't that be awesome? Katie Bowie wanted to know, or maybe it's just Katie Bow. I always say Bowie because, you know, like David Bowie. Katie Bow wanted to know if I had to be named after what city, state, or country, what would it be? And I would pick Dakota. I like that name. Patricia Nicole wanted to know would I rather be a ghost or a vampire, and the answer is vampire. I literally fantasize about being a vampire. I wished I was a vampire. George O wanted to know if I could live in any time period in the world, when and where would it be and why? And I definitely would not live in any other time period other than now. I am a creature of comfort. I have to have a heater, an air conditioner, the internet, a smartphone. So I definitely don't think I could like live in another time, but I would definitely love if I could visit like the Wild Wild West days or Victorian England. Swamp Family from Instagram wants to know if I could live anywhere besides the US, where would I live? This is like a broad answer, but I would definitely say Europe. I'm so jealous of everyone who lives in Europe. You've got all that history and architecture. You can do all those historical tours. It must be nice. We don't have anything that old here in America. We're not that old. Pretty Vacant 23 from Instagram wanted to know what my favorite uncommon object is, my favorite oddity or favorite thing I've ever gotten from uncommon objects, and that would have to be a doll that is so precious to me. It's also my favorite creepy baby, and her name is Big Baby. She's literally like so big that she sits in a actual child's chair. She's very magical. She has thoughts and feelings of her own. Her eyes are so amazing. They look like opals. Chloe is a goth, wanted to know how many creepy babies, including just heads and arms and appendages, do I have? And the answer is probably several hundred. I try and have names for most of them. I feel like they each have a distinctive personality, but I definitely couldn't if you take into account all the arms and legs. I've gotten so many and I just want more. And the last question is from graveyard_girl with 2 L's on Instagram. They wanted to know if I could be family members with 10 people, alive or dead. Who would it be? So really quick, 10 people. Hunter S. Thompson, Edgar Allan Poe, Vincent Price, Lord Byron, Charles Dickens, Wild Bill Hickok, Jim Morrison, Lucille Ball, Johnny Depp, and the actor Ian McShane. And I'm sorry this video was so long, but I wanted to make sure I got through a lot of questions. I don't even know how many this was. There were so many more that I wanted to answer that I didn't get to. If you guys really liked this video, go ahead and thumbs it up and I will do more Q&As in the future. And like I said, maybe I could even do them on different subject matters, like one that's strictly all YouTube kind of questions. Maybe Dogman and I can do like an updated togetherness Q&A. Just comment down below and let me know your thoughts, and definitely like this video if you would like more of these in the future. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love y'all so much, and I will see y'all tomorrow. Bye!